finally did it. I got a new camera.
The Sony FX30, a 1.2 pound magnesium alloy construction utilizing Sony's E-mount lens compatibility, and the first option available when entering Sony's cinema line.
But is this camera actually an upgrade? I mean, everything that you've seen so far has been shot on my old setup, and it doesn't look bad. Let's look at some of the specs of the FX30, and then we'll compare it to my old camera, the A7R II.
This is going to be a quick video quality comparison between my two cameras, and this is a Sony FX30, and there's a few reasons why I chose this as my new camera. The first reason is fans. As you can see, there's air vents on the side, and there's an air vent on the bottom as well. This plays a huge role when it comes to preventing overheating, which occasionally was an issue with my last setup. Next is dual memory card slots. Now this works with SDXC or CF Express, and out of the box, slot 1, the one on the top, is for photos, and slot 2, the one on the bottom, is for video, but I believe you could change these in the settings. The next thing I like are the record button options. So you have a record button on the top of the body, you have one in the front labeled as number 6, and you also have your shutter button. You could set the shutter button to be a record button, which feels very intuitive to me, but it doesn't come out of the box like that. Another feature is mounting points. You see there's 3 mounting points on the top of the camera, which is great. Then when we look around, we have one on the side of the memory cards, one on the opposite side, and we also have the traditional bottom mounting point, which is the only point that my last camera had. But while we're under here, let's talk about the battery as well. Now this battery can last a lot longer than my last camera setup, approximately about 115 minutes to 175 minutes, and that all depends on the settings that you have on your camera. The next reason I like this camera is the option for shutter angle. With some firmware updates, you can activate shutter angle, and you never have to worry about changing your shutter speed for your frame rate anymore, unless you want to do it on purpose. Another cool feature is this swivel monitor. And if you know Sony, you know that this is definitely an upgrade from what they used to be. This just feels so much bulkier, and it flips all the way around so I could see myself out of this one. It's just amazing, and I feel safe using it. Now this next one was probably the selling point for me, and that's 10-bit color. I didn't have 10-bit color in my last camera. It only went up to 8. Now I have 10-bit color to play with, and I just can't wait to get this stuff into an editing session. This camera really shines when it comes to video. When it comes to photos, not so much, but I do think the video aspect is an upgrade. But there are some people that don't really like this camera, and it's mainly because of one reason. It's a cropped sensor. If you don't know what a crop sensor is, here's a quick once over. This is a crop sensor. It's a little bit smaller than a full frame sensor, and these are the two options you usually get when going out shopping for a camera. There are pros and cons to choosing a crop sensor over a full frame. Here's an example. Here's an image from a 50mm lens on a full frame sensor. And here's that same image on that same lens, but on a crop sensor. This crop turns our 50mm lens into a 75mm lens, which was not an issue with my old camera. This is my old camera. It's the Sony A7R II, and it has definitely seen better days.
I bought this from a friend of mine who moved away, and I'm sure he probably is not happy to see this camera anymore.
So I got this camera from my friend over at Gear Grind Reviews, and here's his initials on the old battery. But yeah, this is the body of it. It's kind of got a little bit of wear and tear on it. That door is completely bent. That's the accessory door for audio. I also have the flimsy screen, but it's like really dusty, and the memory card door is completely just in shambles. But I love this camera. It's treated me very well throughout the years.
Obviously, this camera is not new. It's been through a lot of adventures with me. It's seen a whole lot.
And when I say a whole lot, I mean it. I had this camera for the past 8 years, so it's captured a lot of video and photos. Been to all the places that I've been and run into spontaneous moments that I didn't think I would run into sometimes. This camera's captured a lot of meaningful moments and a lot of artistic moments. And for a long time, it's been an extension of me. And when I started climbing, this camera was with me the whole time. So obviously, I love this camera. It's been my partner in crime for a long time, and the specs are still good. All the scuffing and scratches, that's just a little brassing. Proof that it had a good life, and it didn't just sit on a shelf. Aesthetics aside, let's get to some of the features that I was comparing before that I'm happy I upgraded from. And one is going to be this memory card door. It has been through a lot. I had to go in and fix it a couple times. This is just like a patchwork job of glue and leather that I did. Another upgrade I'm happy with is the record button. This one was pretty small, and sometimes I would miss pressing it and have to double check to see if I pressed it, unlike the FX30 that has multiple record buttons on the body. This next one is an upgrade, but I'm not complaining. It has one mounting point on the bottom. This is the way cameras were made forever. The FX30 does have multiple mounting points on it, which I think are very handy. It was something I didn't even think I needed before, but now that I have it, I'm very happy. This next one is more than just a cool feature. The batteries got better. So if you're not familiar with Sony, their batteries used to be pretty not great. I would go through these in maybe about 30 minutes. Maybe knew they would last longer, but the new Sony batteries just seem to pack a little bit more power than these old ones did. The next feature that I think is an upgrade is the ability to use shutter angle on the FX30 versus doing it manually on the A7R II. If you're new to video, the 180-degree shutter rule means your shutter speed should be double what your frame rate is. This is meant to capture video with natural-looking motion blur. If your shutter is slower than that rule, then it looks blurry. And if it's faster than that rule, it looks choppy. On this camera, I have to manually set it, which is not that big of a deal, but you do have to remember when you change your frame rate to double that and change your shutter speed, and it never seems to be a perfect match. But on the FX30, you have the option to set shutter angle to 180 degrees, and it solves all those problems for you. The next thing I think is an upgrade is the monitor. I come from this one, which is a little bit flimsy feeling. I did feel like I was going to break it. Fortunately, I never did. The screen could tilt up and down, and it could move away from the body, which was great for photos, but for video, I kind of wish it would flip around. And like I said before, this one doesn't have 10-bit color. It has 8-bit color, which is not bad. It's done a good job for me over the time that I've had it, but I think what I have now in the FX30 is an upgrade compared to this. Now I know I'm kind of glossing over my favorite reasons for this camera switch, but if you want to know anything further about shutter angle, 10-bit color, and crop sensors, let me know and I'll make a full video in detail.
Those are some good features, but if I'm being honest, at first I still wasn't sold. I thought about it for a while. This camera is great. And when it comes to photos, this thing is not ready to quit. It's like LeBron. From a photography standpoint, it's amazing. 42 megapixels, you don't need anything more than that. The main reason why I decided to upgrade my camera was the fact that this now has dead pixels.
This was something that I noticed when I was filming my episode about developing film at home. A lot of the low light situations that I was in were just making those dead pixels very noticeable. Here's a map to kind of clarify it. I haven't noticed the pixels in my photos, and I haven't noticed them in well-lit video shots, but in those video shots with low light, you could totally tell that this sensor is riddled with dead pixels.
When I first got this camera, I got it mainly for photos, and I was just happy that it did 4K video. Now I have a camera dedicated specifically to video, and one that I can use for photos.
So did I upgrade or did I downgrade? There's definitely a trade-off when it comes to using the A7R II versus the FX30. If you can get over the fact that it's a crop sensor, the video on the FX30 is a lot better. It has a wider range of options to play with, and it's just more set for cinema. And not to mention, it's an approved Netflix camera. So if you film something on the FX30, it could be shown on Netflix. The A7R II doesn't have that qualification, but it doesn't mean it's a bad camera. The images still look great, and it's a full frame sensor, but if you're coming from an old Sony like this up to a new FX30, how do you feel about it?
Those were just the key points that I enjoyed, and I'm still keeping this one around as my B camera and as my photo camera. If you have an older mirrorless Sony setup like this one, and you're wondering if you should get the FX30, hopefully this was enough info for you to kind of make a little bit of a decision.
I still need to spend more time with this camera, and it's not the only one in the cinema line. But I think this one, for its price point and capabilities, is totally worth it. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. I'll catch you guys next time.